Privileges Committee. Ni nyina no ho ensem egua pono so a yedi enkomo enti same Frempong e wo menchen sanso na Audu Mahama so wo menchen anopai meni omo edi enkomo same akwaba menim say amongst the squad no wo Audu Andy Yao David Peter Banfo ona hojo na ebimo de omuti omukem kwa na omuti station na say okay bibia no man started texting no more text counter opinions
Charlie. my experience some of these things
what go for na make come as
to bibia o discuss what was on the show obi timi fa bo ne bo se on
TS send documents counter documents a man the point in the board water
e be fa no sa e be fa no sa am me ride on the car no nti me am tie condition I understood
hey omo chili o
I understood
and is here bie kaso traffic ni situ mu no
nti is mama tini am bi ase nti o attack me on am bi wa me am tie
omo dem oh how did that say me never compare
so mo wa eze eguti anim nura anasa ye kan say me na mo anopa mo di me esi carpet so na mo twitwa me na we also what me make no air condition unim ka o use
o use ka be
Benz unim Benz o e wo use me maintain Benz mo da me niska me de to Benz o ti Albert na say me ka e akwawe o a businessman o
ye nto aso
oh na some na a businessman
why a journalist or a businessman
who's a okay journalist
okay why a journalist why a side businessman wait the only thing is me seafood be on ma me no eno me problem all say seafoods are out
yeah the bedista
nice some yakwaba
yeah jonia
how da kwaba weekend ko ye
welcome
issues be on ma any table that more person will touch you on.
Before that, only say a mamin chia all Muslims say more rewarding Ramadan.
Okay.
This is a season now. We are Muslim now say you should be prayerful. Obviously, you bonia is on the channel. Until I entreat all Muslims say yeah yambon paya magana man ko yena. Obviously, you are as a Muslim. This is the season now. It's all the channel. Now, Sami, my person is a maintain. Is there any secular Edima Ghana Immigration Service for say Obi to within Ghana? You're checking Ghana card.
No, I haven't heard anything.
Sami, also what?
No,
I haven't heard anything.
You call for more North. You are going to North. They are being subjected to checks. Say we dey na ya stop bus and car no na immigration for record no say Ghana card wa hin. Sometimes they look at your face say oh yes so a year.
Oh, but that's bad.
Then sometimes they stop the car, they even take people out. If you don't have gun, they take you into rooms. I don't know what people are alleging say binomojiska. Sadia no the Ghana Immigration Service.
No, is it at the point of entry or within?
No, within. Free Accra ha call Mikrom, Lambusieni, Zini, just the Sisala areas. Any
what for?
I don't know. So I don't even understand the essence of Ghana card. Yet me stop woman. Look, I thought it was a lie until my younger brother, your last one, he went to Bolga and he was coming. I was in a omobus, you stop it, immigration service. Or no. Or be not only or challenging immigration service or in say why what is it, what's the essence, what's it say obesa say Ghana card or Ghana card. I don't even know when you know that Ghana card and your biana up to Nayama Ghana card, but what is even the essence of it? So no challenge your man apparently Nipa no checking and say he should talk to or the consent should be addressed to the superiors. I don't know what superiors are all actually. Immigration Director of Immigration Service, any Minister for the Interior, Honorable Ambusderi, Sadia no I don't know the essence of it.
I mean the account you are giving us, and coming from you, I have no option than to believe.
Me initially I didn't believe until my younger brother, Obia, last one. Oh, yes, no Ghana card. Me say Ghana card one, Ghana card one. What is it? Is it now what is there some rebels be land or Ghana na They want to know who is a Ghanaian. But I heard say Ghana card we are even supposed to give to foreigners, right?
Yes, foreigners. Can also.
So what is it? What is it? When you know say nye Obiana or Ghana card, when they still people are still queuing for Ghana card, and they no name consent and pay.
Well, some minimum so issue be.
Yeah, kakra bi. Em say be fa opportunity we dey achia eye. Minuanom kofo ni na mama yi na ye ho. Official pa. Em say yeah COVID eja ye mu kakra yi. Ya missy Easter for about 2 years ni. But the significance no enye ese enije ni nkwa nkofo etu kwan every baby abeji omani wo kwa mu, but you see gradually Kwa is becoming a tourist hub. Me sure say say buy kra etinani ehwe ho. Ohwe hotels.
The Ministry of Tourism, the GTA have actually committed say a more focus attention on that.
Yeah.
And you know
beyond that, then I may share no to say MP, BTV MP, Honorable Brian Champon. I mean, he has led the way. We share a hotel we could see
Rock City.
Rock City, yes. I mean, see the biggest in Africa. And Kakanga Crown, so other hotels in Kakanga Crown, so spring up Inti, me sure say afi Easter no peno e bie kwa ama nkrofo asan babiem aba behwe enema ekoso kwa enema akese and secondly so kwa manhene launch book so nkubi a ye no kwa state book ebe che kwa abakosem baby a free buy any baby abedru any de nti kra nkrofo se kwa pepe nkrofo se
oye ko ni o
nkrofo pepe nkrofo sika nkwa agro any sanye mani na em se ngoma no che yabakosem kakra ye beti ase de nti a eye kwofo nso de eye ni na ne se
mountain is cut too much ebe che ni na so we say among for
inti mema kwofo ni na official pa na ye mpanimfo ye hene any mpanimfo ye MPs any omo ba kwa ni na so afi Easter no nkrofo abon hu de ru a ba ye se ebe ya abotre na akoboko na kanko nhia ne niema basabasa etobia etete efri ho no afi we enkoye sa nti makrofo ni na official pa
yo Audu, on the matter of Ghana card no.
Yes.
Are foreigners allowed to take part in the mass registration exercise? The current mass registration exercise is being conducted for Ghanaians only at a designated center.
Yes.
Foreigners, on the other hand, are to register on a different system known as FIMS, which is a continuous registration process.
Yes.
And the foreigners can register to also have the Ghana card.
Yes.
And if the immigration for no ASR operation now, that's a foreigner be ekuta Ghana card nibia. I mean, what's the essence?
Because it will indicate your nationality.
Yes.
Card no be indicate if you Togo and I indicate that you are from Togo. And then you there cry any ECOWAS card.
Anyway, then to also, how do my function say? Vice President.
Oh, that's also. You wait 3 months.
Yeah, you free.
Yeah, Parliament.
Okay, fine.
So don't allow yourself. My name to us. I'm penny be the chair kasa.
But anyway.
See, but anyway, my name the NGR own name started.
Who did the time know started?
Own name started.
How do you bully? And Sammy, don't allow yourself to be bullied. Pacho, run your show.
Oh, you think that he's bullying me?
Oh, he's trying to.
It's very obvious.
Very, very obvious. Indeed, don't allow yourself.
You see that you're trying to bully me?
Because there's a show on she shared down.
Okay. Okay, Sammy. Vice President last Thursday no Kokasa for some time now among for say Vice President want economy on Kasa. And probably because Vice President Obia him say since probably 2013 as for public lectures on economy, they're not I've never seen or heard of any Ghanaian vice president, and even a running mate, one man lecture on Ghanaian economy for that long. For a year, one kasa, challenges what Ghanaian economy. No, everybody was expecting so the kasa, and lo and behold, it was announced last day the kasa. Until say wakasa. Normally, when Vice President Bawumia speaks, or Kasa, he presents data. He talks about data. Anytime he speaks, he puts this country, Obia researchers, Obia into action. Everybody, per se, all here, dear Bawumia Kaya, no cry, no cry. Researchers, professors, Obia and research, political parties. Obia checking, fact checking. Said the about me, I can't no cry. And that was about it. He tackled on a lot of issues. Anka ole me to areas anka I say obisamia, but if it is my general view, then I'll maybe recapping what Bawumia said. Nti okasai on economy, the challenges we are facing initially. It has a beginning or start here. We are facing, acknowledge, Ghana as a country, we are facing challenges. And now from there, more historical, because you cannot give a history of Ghanaian economy without looking back where we are coming from, where we are and where we want to go. Basically, where did this government take from, where are we now, and where the country wants to go, or government wants to go. And to sound about me,
okay.
Into a final sector by sector, and now. So people are, after in his speech, there are people who are saying, even professors are divided. What Bawumia has said, there are some professors, very known professors, who feel that Bawumia presented facts and figures, and that are verifiable.
What for guidance now? More expressive views
and okay, and there are also professors who have said that he only went to do propaganda. So it depending on who is talking, you know what Bawumia presented.
All right, Mami Bissau, on the vice president's own speech or Troy, I will deliver. I say questions be on man when I'm saying Ghana for Bisa.
Yes.
One, what has happened to the economic fundamentals?
Yes.
Two, why are the prices of goods and services increasing so fast?
Yes.
Three, why has the cedi depreciated so fast this year?
Yes.
And four, why has the fiscal deficit and debt stock increased so much?
Yes.
And several others.
Yes.
And he tries to prefer explanations that Emma Yehunu said the entire situation it is. Yeah. For inflation, the kind Emma and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, countries and economies throughout the world are experiencing severe challenges following the COVID-19 pandemic and the more recent Russia-Ukraine war. The pandemic, which started early 2020, resulted in the greatest economic depression in the world since the 1930s, with most countries recording negative GDP growth, supply chain disruptions, and the rising price of oil, which went up to a high of over $130 this year, has resulted in major increases in the prices of fuel across the globe, with petrol prices doubling in many countries. The highest petroleum prices can be found in Hong Kong, the Netherlands, Zimbabwe, Germany, Israel, and the United Kingdom. And Audu, we don't share how I'm doing free.
Okay. Maybe may say no cost of living.
Yeah.
Any inflationary trends in India, and it is a fact. Say inflation are cost. There's no inflation are cost, and cost of living so are cost. I will be the first to admit, because me say last year my family for break called senior high school free SHS. Nobody asked me to send money for near Mount Beto Akko school, but this year I have to bail out more than 6 people. That shows you, because last year they were so comfortable. They were able to pay, but this year things are so hard that they have to fall on me too. So I'll be the first to admit to say, near my depend on Ghana. Now the other can is if you look at inflation, okay, say it's about rising cost of price, food, any name, other prices. Now, we are in him say petroleum, fuel is a major factor. Once you increase fuel prices, they are costful. And at the beginning of the year, or even last year, what was the cost of crude? And to the extent that recent is rising up to it, we started around, government even estimated, say, it's about $60 per barrel, or even below $60 per barrel. That was what was in the budget. And at the end of the year, to 120, 140, now it has slowed down. It's still above $100. So when you know, and it's a global economy, until once we are importing more than we export crude, fuel prices be cost. Once fuel prices go up, cost of everything be cost. Apart from that, maybe the same prices. When you say COVID by Sami, cost of freight, we all know because some cash already say a businessman.
Yeah.
Maybe a container would be maybe an freight here $2,000. They say acquire up to over $10,000. When the cost of freight goes high, goods now they ban automatically. It has to be. You have to pass on. Importer will have to pass on, and prices will definitely go up. Once prices go up, these are the effects of inflation. So they are. Apart from COVID, because of COVID, initially the reason why freight to cost, because of COVID, there were no ports in your close to so many countries. Now, the easing of economies, so freight any now cost to cover for people to be able to recover their cost. And then when you now contribute to, so that's as a result of COVID. The obit honors also COVID. Everything is blamed on COVID. Everything blamed on COVID. It is not just expenditure now every year on COVID, but also as a result of global prices. Any Nema Akoso. That is why it has affected Ghana. So that's the explanation on my. It's for Ghanaians to see whether explanations now whether we agree or not. If we disagree, what are the alternative facts? They say the okay and you give the reason why and Ghanaians will be able to decipher whether the alternative view so that's how things should be done, because we'll be presenting an idea. You don't attack the personality. Look at issues not raised. Do they make sense to you? If they don't make sense to you, what do you think makes sense to Ghanaians? So that you prefer those alternatives. That's how we grow economies. That's how we grow democracy. But Obi Kokasana say some people will not even listen to him after that. Ebinuma Yomu knows that. Say about me or say we pay this what I unleash on him. But that's not how we do. Look, let's critique what he has done. Say if he has said something that you feel that it is not true, show us why it is not true and bring reasons why it is not true. But this personality attacks, I know people, he has been big-headed to so many people in this country since he came. But that is not how you look at him. People say, I listen to so many people, they attack him, insult him and all that. But if you have a sinner mind, you have somebody who, if you're listening, look, the man has done his work, critique the work, look at what he has done. Is it true or not? If it is not true, why do you think it's not true? That's how we do. So that is on inflation. So we all know that inflation has gone up. Everybody, you cannot deny the fact of inflation. So he tried to give reasons why inflation is for you to disagree or not or agree. That's how we run. So that is on inflation. Now call CD exchange rate. That's rate. Obiani say not dollar no. To the extent that people say dollar no could break 8 before MPPC also may break 8. It was well me koji obi ma me busia 1,200 for something. Chale meji scano at the rate of 6.92. Sana me 6.95. Sorry. Charlie, maybe 2 years ago, I didn't know I do 8 Ghana cedis. I say my boka. It's just now that it is slowing. You know, it is a 7 point something. So last time I checked, it's 7.6. But still, my boka. So obviously, exchange rate CD are depreciating significantly. And these are facts. But why are the reasons Ben contributed to that? That's why he tried to say he gave one reason about a presenting budget. No, can say because of our rising debt level of debt, on bond market this year. Now the government was going to raise revenue internally. Now you put revenue measures in your budget, including e-levy. Even the approval of budget was a problem. And on Tokwani gidi. When you finish, even though revenue e-levy was part of budget and the amounts that should be accrued therefrom, all have been passed by Parliament in Appropriation Act. Yet law now by implementation now opposition and this is a minority or penny. So all these created some your friends uncertainty in the global market. Okay,
my main pause for a second. Okay. I think say I was saying me last 2 weeks, me year any beer. I was saying me jump all right. Na afino utimi move mami. Now the issue people are raising about the vice president's presentation is the overemphasis on Ukraine, COVID-19, and other issues, and they say that it cannot wholly be the case. Say Ghana's economy is where we are because of COVID-19 and then that of the Ukraine-Russia war. Case they are making is that pre-pandemic period, the indications were already there, say the Ghanaian economy was going to struggle. They quote the World Bank boss Awoka say, indeed, Ghana's economy would have experienced some shocks regardless of COVID-19 and that the signs were on the wall. Now, share a year, and I always want to use the friend saying IMF for meetings on the Ghana government a year, and this is a year the 2020 April edition. I almost request for disbursement under the Rapid Credit Facility press release, staff report, and a statement by the executive for a year the government of Ghana. I would want to. I'm looking at those. I want to quickly check out those who were present at this meeting. Now, I'll say, approved by an IMF team consisting of Messrs. Sladevich, Tuna Mama, who is a representative, Agu, Lima, Mrs. Banoni, and for the Ghanaian representation, it was led by the Finance Minister, Kenneth Furiata, the Bank of Ghana Governor Addison, and other senior government officials on March 3rd, 2027 and 31st. Mr. Mojarad, who is an executive director, and Mr. Osei Yeboah, advisor, ED's office, participated in this policy meeting. So, Oshasa reports in the this is what they say about Ghana. Or say, commodity prices.
Yes.
Or say, for Ghana.
Which year?
2020.
2020, okay.
This is a report 2020, so it covers 2019, 2020.
Yes.
Was it for Ghana's three main exports have been volatile. Oil prices have more than halved since early January. Cocoa prices rose early in the year due to concerns about global supply, but have since dropped about 10% year to year. Prices of gold, Ghana's largest export, have increased strongly due to the flight to safety. Financing conditions, financing conditions have tightened with Eurobond spreads peaking at 1,355 basis points in late March, a 4-year high. However, yields on domestic debt have so far remained broadly stable. The cedi began depreciating in late February due to the global risk of sentiment, capital outflows, and reduced export revenues, and by late March had erased its gains for the year. This is the IMF speaking.
Is it IMF or World Bank?
IMF.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are you talking about?
The point I'm trying to make is that per the finance minister's own meetings with the IMF,
Yes.
the IMF tells us the factors that have caused the cedi's depreciation. He says, your inability to earn from revenues are you're gaining from exports. They say, global risk of sentiment, capital outflows.
Don't even go further. Okay. All these things are global issues. If you are not able to raise revenue from exports, it's not global. Export, no say any export or export, you are taking your commodities outside the country. If there are fluctuations in prices, it will definitely affect. But what I'm saying is, if you are looking at depreciation of the cedi, every economy, the currency depreciates. But it is a rate of depreciation that is always the point. You cannot say your currency will not depreciate. But what is the rate of depreciation? And we are saying that the economy was already in whatever they call it, was already going to suffer before COVID. What would have been the state of this Ghanaian economy if there were no COVID? That's the questions we should be asking.
Yes, exactly.
So COVID has aggravated the whole situation. That's the point people are making. It's also not like COVID alone. Even Vice President Baumia admitted that it is not COVID in Kwanema, there was a situation. If you listen to his presentation very well, he admitted that any COVID in Kwan. There are so many factors that contributed to this. You have just mentioned commodity prices, crude oil, Niniama prices, and all that. All these things are part. He also said, the reason why, if you take out the expenditure, if you look at the banking sector cleanup, and then COVID expenditure, and then excess capacity and all these three items, about 51 billion or 52 billion Ghana cedis. If you that is why when government was accounting to IMF, they put it, said, these are not expenditures, one kasa, opese, that's why they view below the line expenditures. And they did the accounting differently, below the line, and normal budgeting a year, ube spend it, what budget is anka ube spend it. That is why desktop of course. So because within the 52 billion no are buying use here, it's not like President Akufo-Addo, now Vice President Belmont or Mokofa or a Bank of Ghana. The money was borrowed to do the banking sector cleanup. Unless you say the banking sector cleanup was not necessary. And my understanding of financial sector, if two banks collapse, the total banking sector of the country may, two major banks collapse in this country, the banking sector may totally collapse because it's about business, almost SHAE, checks and any transfers of money. So one banking sector, one bank can bring the whole economy down if it is not well, with just one bank. When there have been experiences in US and UK and other places, especially in US. So government thought the cleaning up of the banking sector was necessary to make our banks liquid, to be able to support investments in the country, and that's why they did. And of course, there were days that people, Omar Mokaze said it was not necessary. Liquidity was given to so many of these banks, liquidity support. It was like putting water in basket. The banks, these kind banks in the big government spent, in fact, I don't want to mention because the matters are in court. I don't want to mention banks. When government supported and they've used the money for other purposes, it's sort of showing up their liquidity in the bank to be able to give, to support the bank. Or more the different. So these are the things. Depositors were not getting their money. Look, there were days Obi even the traditional, some of these traditional banks are almost defunct. They were not able to pay honor. Sometimes they call her nopa. Even it's a scan. That's how tight it is. And government is saying depositors, about 4.6 million depositors were received. If you think that is not true, claim now about 4.6 monies of 4.6 customers were received. If you think that is not true, provide evidence saying no correct. That's how you do these kind of discussions. Ultimately, say nipa no kan no otwantro bring alternative data say ana say even the banking sector even no man can say
Mame pause for a second on the banking sector. I'll be a question is unless of course we feel say it's irrelevant. So I'll come to you shortly. I would do some 4 minutes now on Fanrani up November. The report states, and this is the IMF report, this is the 2021 one, what's it? Entrenching macroeconomic gains. In recent years, the Ghanaian authorities have succeeded in achieving macroeconomic stabilization and laying the ground for a favorable economic outlook. Since 2017, the country has enjoyed stronger growth, single-digit inflation, and improved government and external positions thanks to a fiscal discipline and monetary tightening, including the end of a monetary financing of the deficit. The Bank of Ghana has undertaken a sweeping, albeit into brackets, expensive cleanup of the financial sector that included resolving 9 banks and shutting down insolvent banks. So the World Bank the IMF describes the activity, the cleanup exercise, as an albeit expensive venture.
Exactly, but government admits that. What is more expensive than using about 21 billion to do a cleanup? But you see, if you don't do that, the whole Ghanaian economy may collapse if the banking sector collapses. That's the alternative. This thing, that's the opportunity cost. You spend more to save the system, or you don't spend at all and the whole system will collapse. That's the alternative. That's the choice government made. If you look at the IMF or more report, and almost from 2017, all that there was steady growth. There was steady growth up to if you look at 2017, 2018, 2019, there were steady growth. Economy growing averagely 6.57%. Until COVID year, this economy grew by 0.4. If you look at Sub-Saharan Africa, the economies grew by negative. They are negative growth. So
see, the question people ask is there. Yes. You know the government formed the Ghana Amalgamated Trust. You remember?
Yes.
And when the GATS was formed to salvage some, I think 3 or 4 or 5 banks. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So the question people saying is that if in salvaging these banks, we would have spent, let's say, 6 billion or 9 billion.
How are you salvaging them?
And then rather, like the way they did for NIB and the rest of the other banks which were affected by capital liquidity strength and GATT was there to salvage the situation. So then the argument people make is why spend 21
do an appraisal. These are private banks. You do an appraisal.
Yes.
You do an appraisal. What you have just mentioned are state-owned banks. You do an appraisal of private banks where Bank of Ghana has given so much liquidity support to these private banks. And they put the money, it's like basket. They use the money for other purposes. You want to continuously use taxpayers' money to put this money there for people to use them for other purposes? Is that what you want to do?
Not at all. What I'm saying is that couldn't there have been an interim management board for a period when they take care affairs of these banks until finally it's handed over to any entity which may show interest?
That is how the way you are talking. That's how another government or another person would have taken it, but that's the alternative you have
because
given.
who's here the vice president? Vice president is Vice president points out that one of the major issues are a debt burden. Of course, so it's the banking sector cleanup.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway. Let me move on.
So why will you continue? Well, my question is, why you will continue to pump money into a system that is rotting?
Oh.
You pump money there. In fact, because I'm constrained because of matters in court. I will mention individual amounts are pumping into individual banks.
And they stay off money.
Exactly. So I'm constrained in giving this. See, people say, you could have saved these banks, you could have saved this. There were efforts to save the banks, and yet the people handling the situation totally collapse everything.
Oh, yeah.
And you cannot continue to be pumping money into.
Yeah. Unya, once again, Obi to say Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, my economic lecture, Anka, whom am I, Obi Bessie?
Want to me.
To sit here say, I am trying to do an analysis of Nsema Odia Tuja.
Yeah.
But because economy ne ho nsem no affect yenina one way or the other.
Yeah.
And at least se me wadwen check akra wo ho a say mitimi eche madwen e wo ho. Me bisa me ho several times say what was the need for Baumia lecture ya or yeah and saying, was it just in response to Crawford Semo Mokika say he's been arrested by the CD? Were collapsing because of e-levy. Wayira yemuno inti ononso accept sa invitation no. And I say mami may lecture because Enchebia President Kufuor the State of the Nation address by before that in so na finance minister Ayo Raken Ufiata and so Ababe announced measures be almost say buying edi to akwemu frugality measures ye behwe say buying ebe so enema no kakra sene baby a oman no eho asetena no no yetimi salvage situation no nti we nyina aba akwemu no Dr. Baumia's addition for me it was an overkill. For me, ubisa me say a home for so party there. Me what's new? It's added. Me apart from the same explanations, any excuses, yama over the period. Efa near edie aba TV womb. As per government's own script, what provided amayen. When people talk about issues, I mean, food prices, petroleum prices, they tell you, say, oh, COVID. And Sami, I have sat down to imagine, say, if a buying fufuobi, let me go straight by saying, say, Senka, NDC ne wa bang, and are their daily and regular excuse for the kind of hardships come any COVID. I imagine how Dr. Bawumia would have ridiculed that government. If government on a daily basis try say obey pia down the throat of Ghana and say Monty say because COVID and abe say o mine ebibia. Yeah, increase fuel price by 70% 50 January ABCN. Inti say your problem ni na we say any COVID. Okay. This lecture no, I was expecting the way forward. Rather than telling us, and even the latest addition, which I found very ridiculous, although sometimes I'm forced to think, say, I say Ukraine and Russia, and no, about a bang, and I up to one of the excuses are abiding my say, and unti, and you what to be a womb. Meanwhile, between you and I, you name and niema bebre accounting apart from a year international crisis and all the global trends and whatever government wants us to believe. We have sat down to complain about a lot of things, wastages in the system. Baby, I do on my kako. A lot of these things, you are complaining. The size of government, you are complaining. Inti, one of the things I am expect to say beyond COVID and beyond Russia, and I see Adriane deficit by 30% as the vice president is saying. Okay, what happened to the planting for food and job? Which success your minister no attouted so much say there was so much reserves when it comes to all these things. Inti Russia and Ukraine bar, how many months you say how many weeks and quickly your food stock are depleted by 30%. Anti Russia crown at the end of your fertilizer any food. Maybe Sasa Ghana, you do apart from I mean kind the last time I crown many she food so.
Maybe on market.
I mean kind time last time many she be so. What I say? Inti me
now wait in here then.
Oh yeah flat.
Okay.
Inti the American is oh okay.
Only bread.
Me bread.
Okay.
Me bread.
I'm all for bread pan.
You can put it on the table, don't worry.
The American say, Abai, sure. Sometimes, me tell say my mum penny for kasa. I really feel say they've lost touch with a confronting on a daily basis. Beyond the theories, beyond all these lectures about and look, work for a coin so sesia. Netie, because before Dr. Baumia became the vice president, look, some of his analysis or this way theories need to change. Now we're reducing the BR to the layman's level. No, we bisa fuel prices, wahala, nursing train allowance, wahala, wahala. Because around the time, he was able to feel and understand the realities of the times. Why is he running away? Why shouldn't they come and tell us, say, look, we took certain things for granted. That's
my main point of
running away.
Is it not the reality about the impact of COVID-19 on us? One, Epacho.
Yeah, me too.
COVID-19 hit most nations apply trade. And traders and your business. Most of them lock their doors.
COVID-19 Ghana pen hit.
Yes, indeed.
Our neighbors,
indeed. But we are talking about
Ghana. If we continually make that as an excuse, then I will tell you, say your neighbors Togo, but later our currency it was the lowest. Togo was also hit by COVID-19. COVID and Ghana pay, and I wouldn't sit here to pretend say COVID and impact via on the economy of the country. But if we want to make COVID, I say your flagship excuse, be via COVID. There are other things that are shaking the economy of Ghana. One day I was saying it somewhere, say, are buying policies, very good policies. But look, policies, no, government and its officials were even divided on a policy like the free SHS. Very good policy, laudable policy. But so what do say shame? Now who say, adiano, ma economy and answer woman no sikasem no. In a particular way. People have been talking about reviews and all that, which became an issue. Government was running away, say, oh, we never mentioned a review. Look, Adena, you show and now say, you ferry say the answer to be the project is good. Now say, halfway through, and you maybe corner and queer. Are we afraid of the opposition? No, are we afraid, say any backlash I may receive into Yendano send etia. What I say? Not saying abai and the maybe better to acquire muse buying cars, yento V8. Yeah, yes, Sanya money saying me a bit by president issue directive way. What happened to the directive? And now car say my ento cars. Now fisheries minister Koto a brand new V8. Inti yen acknowledging so say. Apart from all these crises, no wastage. The wastage, no.
Fisheries minister, we MPO.
Oh, say,
oh,
there be the car now a toy and then
yeah, the time there was a controversy about the vehicle which had been bought.
A MP4 a car, into how do we patch
okay,
and then MP4 car.
Yeah.
Into okay, even beyond the fisheries ministry, around the time our president at the SAR and Shishani Bay, ministries non talkers, V8 no register baby. Did they really need them? And about Nasia Emma and Emma way also. Into me, my point is we should also mention the president and vice president should be bold enough to mention say, and Emma Bebre, there were so many leakages in the system. Leakages Bebre our system anymore. And Emma Bebre abai share Manasseh's report on the PPA boss. Now Oshe send Yama contract. Any Sikaya the total contracts so. Contract in the do its final destination no not just say ya disika enya o mine kanebo sasem no ecosystem. These are issues I told be am pese anka ye can ya acknowledge say look at a point government was reckless in its expenditure. Government was reckless and na accounting for Sanyama way, and we should stop this BBR COVID. I know say the Dr. Baumia I know pa nanka of mampeni bi na ti ekonwa yi so ena ode covid ese u friend ha covid ena look, he would have just made a big joke of it. Ena wanka obeba bema what he thinks the way forward. For me, this lecture 129 page, I didn't think say, or I don't think say it's captured. Fine, these are things in the public domain already. If you are telling us about Russia, if you are telling us about Ukraine, these are things in the public domain already. These are things we all know. Obia kebi. But for me, let me expect to say, okay, beyond COVID, a giant, President Abe easy restrictions based on the health advice from his advisors. Wabe easy restrictions. Gradually, we are putting COVID behind us. What is the way forward? What is the way forward? In Dr. Ba, he talks about some nuisance taxes, BIA, about 15 of them. What about the about 9 taxes? Yadiaka petroleum. What even about the new one? Amount for Esua Nanka Yeshe say Anka the lecture way. One of the expectations of the ordinary Ghanaian is say, you perceive the vice president, economic guru, no, you perceive Najin on the e-levy. You've talked about taxes, nuisance taxes, baby, abang to.
Oh, I'm only listening. I'm only listening.
Taxes are also I'm
not sure I'm intimidating you. You cannot be intimidated.
You know I cannot be intimidated.
So why are you
when na Dr. Baumia entimi ammohwe mabia amfa e-levy ho. In fact, and I'm telling you, the lecture, fine. People made all sort of noise about it. It didn't really live up to the hype. The Dr. Baumia, Obekasa, the whole country, Obia ye dinsi. Look, NPP, they should admit. When Audu has been talking about professors making analysis on. Look, it didn't give anybody any headache to discuss because these were things people expected the vice president to come and say. I say COVID. Secondly, Ukraine, and I'm on mine home Inti and 1 year in Sobeka. And right about Nobeka, inti for the lecture there, it didn't live up to the hype. Say Baumia speaks tomorrow, Baumia speaks today. What has Baumia said? Different from what we already know. Different from what we already expect, say, Obabeka from an NPP standpoint or from a government standpoint. And 1 year I say, my excuses and we say na petroleum cruel for me, the main issue anope me koye tea happy nim heya. Many kusuera in coma, many di kakrano. And only enkomo koso lawyer so. And those were the conversations that the vice president associated himself with when he was in opposition. So I really think that he should still associate himself with the sentiments of the Ghanaians. You could pump, ebu fuel, all these things about COVID. And so what?
All right. All right. I think just to summarize the point you're making, you are saying that the vice president should speak. I'll give you the time to respond.
Oh, who will respond? Obe adding your opinion. I don't think.
No, I'm adding my opinion.
Yeah, of course. I don't think there's nothing to respond to.
Oh,
well, okay.
Preemptive strike.
Back to the Happy Morning Show. Yeah, 2 competition. So, yeah, the next. Let me see, 5. The next 10 minutes to discuss matters. Now, for the NBA phone lines, and Fantuma Adolphonse, so and Phenomenal Jumetis. I would say, we'll be a paper. Over to you. But over the next 3 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes, yes.
Oh, 3 minutes.
2 minutes, because
3 minutes.
3 minutes, yes.
3 minutes.
Okay. Or say. Sammy.
Man can also respond.
Sammy say, Vice President Baumia should admit to say, Nehemiah D. As if say Baumia did not admit. Say
but your Vice President Baumia.
Vice President Baumia. Or say, just the second paragraph of the whole statement. The issues of our national economies and how well individual countries are handling their respective economic situations appear to be the most important thing on people's minds in recent times. From the man on the street to the big business mogul, the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the shelter we seek or have, to the benevolence we extend to friends and family, the health of the economy is a fundamental instrument. To bring this home, essentially, the economy is what we feel in our pockets. That's what Baumia has been saying all along since he became random. The economy is what we feel in our pockets. I acknowledge that we are going through challenging time. This is a reality, irrespective of course. So what do you think Baumia
Why have you lifted that out of context? You can't just lift that one and say.
You see, you said the man should admit things are hard.
See,
he has just repeated what he has been saying.
Beyond the admission, and how kind to us what? And how beyond the admission.
The next paragraph, the next paragraph,
You said first of all, you said the man did not admit anything. I'm sure
you were not listening to me. Perhaps you were not listening to me.
Yanko, how do
you said I should read the next paragraph for him.
Read.
Not long ago, we had felt similar despair, the fear of losing our lives to a pandemic, and the near halt to our economy as we battle to survive each day. Some years ago, also we had been confronted with very dire economic circumstances, the joblessness of our youth, the years of lights out, that adversely impacted business and jobs, the disappointment of dealing with collapsed national health insurance system, and inability to access healthcare, the bane of cash and carry system, the nearly collapsed national ambulance service.
What is he saying?
So I'll tell you what
campaign platform.
But your Manelande, Same, who interjecting?
Oh no, so I responding to something
Sami, Manelande.
Why? The man is a vice president of this country. It's a political season. People are saying that
I now understand.
Of course, but why? What we have a political economy?
Thank you.
We run you don't know we are running a political economy.
You see, I mean,
go ahead. He didn't interrupt you.
But
no, he didn't interrupt you. He didn't interrupt you. Allow him. Audienko.
You have talked about COVID. Tell me one country.
Oh, but you see, it's unfair. So, COVID. I didn't say that.
It is not only COVID. You say it's not. People are blaming COVID or everything. Didn't you say that?
Of course, but I didn't say.
But did Baumia blame COVID on everything? Did you read the speech? Did Baumia blame COVID for everything? He himself said. To be fair, no, any COVID expenditure and my economy came to the way it is. Did he say COVID brought this economy there? Did Baumia say that? Did he? So why will you sit here and say about me and say everything is COVID? Did Baumia say that?
Calm down and make.
No, I am saying, sir, go through his statement and admit, sir, did Baumia say COVID in Ghana wounds? So if you are, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
that look,
apart from COVID or the Ukraine cow, those were the highlights anyway.
Baumia didn't even, his main thing, he didn't even bring Ukraine. He mentioned three. He mentioned three things.
But didn't he mention Ukraine?
But Ukraine was a peripheral. It's just recent. You see, that's why I'm saying that when we are discussing issues, when somebody puts out, look at the issues. Don't pick cherry picking. You have just mentioned Ukraine was just latest. He mentioned three major things, and I said those major things total 52 billion Ghana cedis. Did he mention it? Ukraine was just something addition. You said that and say about me, I see Ukraine or see COVID. Mention one country that COVID has not affected. One country. Let me come back to you. I think you are making me divert. Let me come back to a friend saying, what's about me?
I say,
I don't know. You see,
okay, but are you responding to Sami or you are making a submission?
Sami, honestly,
if
we continues on that tangent,
relax.
I can't restrain myself.
Relax.
Fine.
No, but you see,
and you are not here to respond to me.
No, I'm not.
Of course.
What you have said, you have challenged what I've said. So let me challenge what you have said. It's not
I didn't challenge what you said. It is a speech, 129
he analyzed.
And Odemai essay.
You see,
Sami, Manelande,
some people have said that. Some people have said that what Baumia has done is of no consequence. There's nothing new Baumia has done. At least as I sit here, I know that Baumia has spoken about digitalization and he has led. And let me just look at one aspect of the importance of digitalization and what government is doing to increase revenue of this country. So that the things are here complaining of, say what are the way forward? What is the way forward to solve our problems? I think that we can only solve our problems in this country if we are able to generate enough revenue to be able to solve those problems. And let me just go to Justin here. He said, following the implementation of motor insurance database, the growth of the motor insurance industry increased from 19% in 2019 to 37% in 2020 and 26% in 2021. The value of business undertaking increased from 566 million in 2017 to 2.3 billion in 2021. Digitization has dealt a severe blow to corruption in insurance industry with no room for fake insurance certificates. So if you are somebody who has an objective mind, you say that Bawumia has not said anything. He has not proved why the things government has done to increase revenue. This is one typical example that in just 3 years, insurance, money, now 566 million, it has jumped to 2.8 billion. That's one way. He's moved to, if you go to DVLA, when we're applying manually for DVLA, manually, in just 1 year, their income rose from just a little over 2 million Ghana cedis, over 1 million Ghana cedis to 52 million Ghana cedis. Just digitization, what it has done. So these are the policies. I hope person raising with revenue. You eliminate human interface. If you digitalize, now you can apply for passport, pay your money, apply online, and you don't need middleman, driver's license. You can do everything online. These are the policies. And before these are policies are implemented here. Now, others have also said free senior high school has been like the implementation has been a problem. We all know everything implementation of free senior high school. There were challenges, and there are still challenges. But I've also heard said people we should look back and say those who can pay, we should allow them to pay. Those who cannot pay, the government will pay for it. That will reduce the stress on the public purse. Sami, I want you to put an app. I'm challenging your media house, your network, to put an app that all Ghanaians who want to pay free senior high school for their awards should apply. Sami, they should apply on that app. Sami, we'll see the number of people who want to pay for their school fees.
We'll build it if you sponsor it.
Oh. My
company will build it if you sponsor it.
Sami, this project, I think I will do it with you.
Yes,
so they'll create an app. I will do so that Ghanaians who want to freely pay their school fees, so that it will take the burden of government. Let them apply on it, because that's a way of segmenting those who can pay. Because this kind of people have said that let's segment and identify those who cannot pay. And my argument has always been that look, maybe Sami is a businessman. Sami pays taxes to the government in millions. Sami has only 2 kids. And the 2 kids that Sami will enjoy from the free senior high school, because you said Sami enjoys is wealthy, let him pay. What of the so much taxes Sami is paying that you are saying that just his 2 kids cannot benefit from the
But this is a position that the finance minister himself has espoused some time back.
He was not elected. The person who was elected to govern this country said that this is how I'm going to do it. And finance minister, by the way, anything he presents to parliament is on the instruction of the president.
Yes,
so he can have a view, but his view may be over.
But he's the one who sits down to know the disbursement and the weight it is having on the economy.
Yes.
At the end of the day,
president will tell him to find the money to do it because that's my policy. And I'm telling you that he is a delegated AEO. He is just at the behest of the president. President is the chief executive. He's the one they have elected. So whatever he wants to do, it has to be done. Unless we are able to convince the president that, look, retreat. What you are doing will not help the economy. And this is the way you should do it. And I'm saying that on free senior high school, let's put the app and let Ghanaians apply. For those who want to pay, let them apply. They want to pay, and we'll see the number of Ghanaians who will say that they want to pay for their case. This is a cheap talk. Some people are ready to pay. Some people are ready to pay.
You have to stick strictly to the time for me. Maybe 2 minutes. Now, maybe a phone line in there too.
Yeah. me work on. I'm saying no one am there. I put na me expect to say nka e be parliament ni ahwe absenteeism no. E ho asem kakra. For me I think say we MP na say wuntimi ye de your mind sika etua wo. E say betina parliament shemra e mayen. Na say wuni adaje a. Mr. I've seen, I think that all these processes, especially the one, Matisse Muntaka, a filing motion, challenging the Speaker's directive. No? Yeah. Yes, good for parliamentary democracy. Yes, our laws should be tested in all these ways. I say who was right, was the Speaker right? And I say, who say, Frempong, baby and fire and say, also say, privileges.
He said it on our platform.
Yeah, so also privileges.
And so he was at RPFM when he said that.
Oh, okay.
I said also they also privileges.
Yes, the documents batches no yeah, the documents will be
trap been a normal setting. Ama adjust for them say. Akoyi bela akesi bebre ediaba. Aiza wo your phones are no ahwe unsa.
But how can a trap be an almost set? And as a speaker, and a set is a trap now.
Unia and parliament as we have it now, it's a very different parliament. You see, me say, and ye baby who near na kesimu etching we.
They say one answer my question no.
Men can't say speaker. And
I said, sir, privileges. Muntaka motion our filing.
No, it's based on the decision by the speaker. This issue of absenteeism. Unim say, I want your parliament.
Mami the economy me building me point you about here say I want a parliament there were times our speakers complaining say omunya the numbers to form a quorum to take decisions, but fine, who cared? Nobody cared until 11 sem by and both sides needed the numbers, and then Adjosafo was somewhere doing TikTok videos and the colleagues were very angry. They were exasperated by Niamana or we had people like the majority chief whip talking, saying all sorts of things. We had Kennedy Japan, who has also been caught by the trap, offering his own versions. And a man is Kase Omra. Inti Adjosafo was the target. NPP was wondering, as a coin ben ye erano ebefasu. Inti everybody was on her. Inti enunema in Crawford say, okay, let's dig further into Parliament, Ejuma Omoye. The answers are there. Ebe provided all these documents. Ebe timi omo Parliament. Any omumba. Any omo by Article 97, you know. As I said, omo forfeit omo seat because omo assembly omo from Parliament for a number of days. Inti Adjosafo same ya ena ekofa sa enyema we because
just 30 seconds on Parliament.
Okay, 30 seconds. I mean, be phone lines. I mean, be phone lines now, Sana.
You see, okay, Adjosafo, even with the inclusion, you see, say if it is just about Adjosafo, even with the inclusion of these two other members, if the party wants to take out Adjosafo through process, they can still do it. So I don't see any, because Constitution is if you look at Article 71, as Sami mentioned, 1C, if he is absent without permission writing to Speaker and he is unable to offer reasonable explanation to the Parliamentary Committee on Privileges from 15 sitting days of a meeting of Parliament during any period of that Parliament has been summoned to meet and continue to meet. That is, you vacate your seat automatically. That is why among for even on the floor of argument, floor of Parliament, people argue, say, if committee finishes its work, its recommendation, is it based on that the person should, the MP should vacate the seat, or it should be debated on the floor of Parliament? The Constitution doesn't say it should be debated. That's why the argument of people including Honorable Ambrose Derry, who is a seasoned lawyer. So that is the point. So if they actually want to take out Adjosafo, and they go there, Adjosafo, all the people will be able to give reasons why they have been absent. And Adjosafo is not able to give reasons why she's been absent and outside making TikTok and all that. I'm coming. They will say the comment that these two people have reasonable cause to be let free. Adjosafo has no reasonable justification to be left. She will be to be recommended or non-call. So this thing about it is just you just brought these people to.
I know that is what you hold. Say, if that is indeed the path they want to go. So, Minister. So a minister if indeed they want to hound there, the first sign we'll see is oh, ministerial position
Lusu, why Lusu no answer?
Send how do you apart from the parliamentary issues, it is very political. Adjusafo is not just an ordinary person in the NPP. You think that president take his decision. There have been series of meetings by party in Penifo on what to do with Adjusafo and that is true. Even how to handle her. Into a simple matter say, oh, Adjusafo maybe TikTok. Masa, it goes so I didn't say if I say
all
right. Mama me phone because me
I take go be an enumeration too. In fact, I'm not
885140.
The irreplaceable Adjusafo.
All right.
He's asking like you
885140 and 0549508687. Any of these numbers, no, offer me. I'm going to come on 0549508687 and answer 0244885140. Any of these numbers, be an offer me. Now, also, what about Jimmy Dino? So, and a pen I'm new wedding come on. And two from me at near Dinkum. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Tame.
Nyamiadum.
Yeah, Sammy was saying the Kazafaka.
Yo, I say uncle.
I'm actually commanding issue for my voice that from both who to know to so much as a year for Papa. And then the end, they can say, bank session one. Me, I'm yearly, my minimum from which you talk on. Samina, come out to 4 faster bank in the man. Can I say, you can charge Kenny Mukran commercial banks in the Mukran Pon. I'm pointing for outside the bank.
All right, Mr. Sam, so line I drop it 0549508687 and 0244885140. Before I drop my mic on Mr. Ma. 0244885140 and 0549508687. Any of these numbers offer, I'll be glad to speak to you this morning. And see, not also know from Nam no didn't come on. Now so what do I drink chair at the chairman? Maybe I'll free him and our deans so in him and see Mr. Offer me an obodi na onso so odi abreme me twen me final caller no you will be on ma. All right, hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yes sir.
Bacho your friend me okwampa me free adenta.
Yes sir.
Me wo mu ni say bank na omo ka ho asem no say president no owo onimuni enti ogu bank no abi before yente say abrofo ogu na osa you osa discuss question mo mbedi enti na ogu bank no into ogunu dia wa wo mu bia odi sika no kopa adwuma ye enti anya no mfumo so so obesore na Adjusafo asem no nso no MPP for no some wo ekuo party no mu omo bibi ni omo dwono ho enti omo nim ni enti a e bia adwa no omma enti ensusu nkasa ho yo ensusu nkasa ho
yo medos an pay so friend about Jimmy no eso an pay I believe that should be it for this morning, but an pay bisa say also an one musu ana Bombardier sauce and Pebiano, Obenum in shoe. Now, Obenum in shoe, so man, awake purified drinking water, 330 ml, 500 ml, 750 ml, 1.5 liters, and 19 liters jar. With me at Tona, so used to be for offices, for Usuku, for hospital. Sorry, in I'm waiting to be no more use to offer Cancer Perco Company Limited for our 0262 351 251 or more NOBD and come on. Now, my catcher said digital marketing there, and who in here saying, you me on Facebook, me on Twitter, me on Instagram, me on TikTok. Some messages on Facebook or platforms in your audio and so. But how to harness the power? Only Facebook.
Me on Facebook.
How to harness the power of these platforms? Very important. Pacho, Brana E Academy for infant tears from Kokra and Fama. So we'll be a oton and normal. Ebia or phones, ebia oshito, ebia wanwa, and also perfumes. Bra, not yen chill, send a bit me use Facebook, wait me use Instagram, and Twitter, no a year. Now they are bought on normal who they will offer 02022222092. Mini Abenya Aquenia announces no about this entity. We say now I E Academy for Edia Mam. And insurance shall at the top. With a man for complaining, and a man who or I will be fear honum, and I see Antonio Modoso, and I insects about me fear, and a man who scorpion. only Dolphinum Fumigation Services for ending common. Na anano many madam for be a mere recommendation Emma no na Dolphinum for ebe spray ni fie na owie testimony or de mamie say Charlie Same on be spray and this year de me hu abo bia e fie honum only Dolphinum for endi enkomo one more essence so provide a professional cleaning services minia a restaurant a office a residential apartment a shipboard honum no or farm no warehouse hotel restaurant no nyina on betimi abaye ho adwuma e de ama one more ewo Malam Junction adjacent a Kitech Towers obetimi no modin komo from 050 407 1884 na onyomo ND enkomo every no I be 1 minute each wrap up comments na fe ni so audio that be me found shall say some wrap up comments
for me the make so akase Easter no yegusu twa obi a ye twa obi a Rock City be na pono ato ho Easter yi boss angasa e wo Rock City me anzo e wo mi hotel bi e wo ye kwa ho a afi yenso ye be apono ye Telvan Hotel e wo ebiti fi
who can say wow hotel
ai
okay and say honey beda
Telvan
honey beda
Nti ne pa na business
man
na o de me ya
encha kese e ma e menu apani nso ai friend no e ora Fred odam yes edu
okay
Easter ye share will be pon so
mon fa enko
mo mi enko
how do wokwana
Easter unfortunately about time I fasting
he can't
friends mamenchia now parliament and say one who sami we adjusafo me bisa say parliament kra yantimi mpam no a adentuna just about a year obi agenda Minister of Gender Children and Social Protection Ministry yaja to home still amount yama obi a saddle with sanitation water resources to be caretaker at the place na President Akufo-Addo dey na ekoso
all right
me bisa say adentina se ontimi nya adwuma no a nipa bebre a wo parliament nipa bebre wo party no mo ono kwa na betima adwuma no ana
all right
ntina bi no ma atro say oye untouchable or irreplaceable adjustable. I'm tempted to believe that.
All right.
Because replaceable and
can replace
that. Yeah, replacing on the
president. I will do an pay. Some from Frempong, Meadows and pay. I will do Mahamas, Meadows and pay.